Hi guys, today we're doing a fitting. This is Sean Shackleton. He's going to be helping us out. He's done a little prelim of looking at my clubs and stuff, and I think we're going to find out some interesting things. Let's hop into it.
So I think first things first for you right now, just hit some balls, get some warmed up. What ball do you play these days?
Usually either a TP5X or a Pro V1, and I kind of go back and forth between the X or a regular.
Understood. Cool.
Oh, that was a good swing. Felt almost normal.
You naturally right-handed, Ken?
Yeah.
Are you right eye dominant or left eye dominant?
Right eye.
Cool. What's your current index these days, Ken?
I
know it's early in the season and all that, but
So the lowest it's been in the last 2 years is 2.1.
cool.
It's trending to like a 4 now though.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Does it say on here how many down or up?
Second number, bottom row.
So is
the
that
left- from the
2
left side.
degree,
Point
0.2 down?
0.2. Got a couple 1.5s and 2s. We're getting there. I think that's also kind of hindering us a little bit on that downward attack angle journey that we've been on, with trying to struggle with the face not being left all the time.
Yep.
Right? In the bubble that we're in right now. I'm not saying on the golf course, I'm saying in the bubble, it's a little bit of a pull hook, not a draw, right? So it's like, okay, if I feel like I can't get into a position that I feel like I can keep holding on to the loft, how is that going to help me hit it straighter, you know?
Yeah.
And trust it more. So that's a interesting thing that I think we're going to discover today.
Okay.
Just a product of fitting. It'd be cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. Also, I think on the course you can get kind of fooled and think it was a draw,
Oh, of course.
and you might have pull hooked it or pull
Or you might have
drawed
just
it.
been aiming that far right, you go straight, and now we just hit a pole, right? I mean, it's golf.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's an interesting kind of thing to kind of think about as far as concept goes. As,
0.
all right, feel like you're ready to hit some 6-irons for me?
Sure.
Awesome. So we use 6-iron to baseline iron performance, and that's kind of a nice place to start for us in a full bag fitting scenario with looking at all of them. The most that we have is irons. So let's get those squared away. I have it right here.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
great.
What are you looking for, Ken?
The
All right.
6-iron.
So, almost 39. We kind of went over like spec-wise, 38 3/4 to the butt cap. 60 degrees of lie angle. So it's like it's long and it's flat. That's interesting, just in general, to me.
I did get them 2 degrees flat, I think, because at the time I couldn't even be fitted because when I started playing again, I went in and I don't know what I was doing, but I literally went in one time and I hit nothing but like 30 to 40 yard hooks.
Yeah.
Even on a good shot.
30 years ago, that's definitely the right mentality. Like, hey, bend them flatter, they'll stop going left. I think John Daly might have made a post about hitting, cuts like that. Hey, you want to hit cut, bend your irons 3 flat and figure it out,
Yeah.
But there's some things that we'll kind of highlight in the
Well,
fitting.
the thing too, though, right? Like I'm always tinkering, so I'm sure my swing has changed a little bit. And I think I got these 2 years ago, 2.5, so that
Understood.
the specs might not be
Sure. Current
or the optimal,
right,
maybe.
Right. Perfect.
No, that was horrible. There's the low left. Wow, everything's pulling left. How far down do you want to hit? Like all the irons is the same, or is there does it get less as you go down the?
I would say the longer the club gets, the shallower it gets a little bit, just from length and flatness of lie angle. The ability to be steeper is normally easier when the toe is more upward, right? It's kind of my mentality. That's why I said the spec's interesting to me. Anyway,
I can't wait for the results here. I think I can probably go, well, shit, I've been playing the wrong specs for 2 years. I was a +2, not a 2 handicap.
I mean, we averaged some pretty interesting handicap adjustments once you get
Cool.
dialed in, so it's cool like that. But definitely, kind of what I said before, it's like it wants to kind of go left as a golf club itself. If it doesn't go, feel like you're holding on to the face rather than swinging the club itself, right? And I think you hit them well on the golf course, Ken, because they are a thinner sole design, like that CB. With a thinner sole, any CB kind of in mentality of like a golf club, it has a thinner sole on it. You play them a little bit strong in loft too, so it makes that bounce go lower. So that when you do swing a little bit up like that last one at 1.2 positive, you still make good contact on the face.
Yeah.
And you probably play a little bit better on bent grass in Bermuda. just a hunch. Maybe Pass Palm is your favorite place to go play golf.
Well,
Zoysia.
the Ocean Course was the first Pass Palm I got to play. Grass was nice.
It's beautiful. It's Velcro, we call it. It's kind of sticky, but
yeah.
It's teed up because the grass grows like this and it gets wide in the afternoon. Then it just grows longer in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But then you got Bermuda and it's always down,
Yeah.
right? And a guy who swings a little up on it, it has to be 2 degrees strong or you wouldn't hit it very well. Because that lowering edge gets down.
Because it's balancing out where I'm not hitting ahead of the ball.
It improves that impact location. Like just like in a wedge, right? It's like, you know, we're indoors and some people don't think I think about, or we think about soul design of a golf club that improves strike and miss. But it's like, if I'm shallow, I probably should play a thinner soul. If I'm steeper, I probably should play a little bit more deflection or more bounce. Like maybe something from Strixon that has that V-sole kind of cut into it. Or you have this, it's a wide grind, a little bit of a front edge lead, and then de-lofted a little bit.
I never noticed, or never thought of it in your irons, just the bounce on my wedges.
Why not?
But it makes perfect sense.
Hitting the ground.
I think.
So we'll hit about 3 more, 4 more.
Gonna learn something from you here.
To answer your question from before, Ken, when you said what's a good, downward attack angle.
Oh yeah.
For 6-iron at your speed. It's really a speed dependent sort of thing. It's like how much you can manage spin and control with getting distance at the same time. The impact. Where you have attack angle is always going to be typically your left hand for a right-handed golfer.
Yeah.
And then your dynamic loft, the number right to the right of the attack number, is the right hand. And that tells me how much pronation we have where we take off loft.
Or 20.6.
Yeah, so we're taking off about 7 degrees still, 6 degrees still of loft, right?
Okay.
So when we look over, it's like ball speed's no longer the issue. Ball speed is not the issue. Hitting distance is not the issue. Controlling where it goes is the issue. And that's like of a draw guy, right?
Yep.
We're trying to manage spin. Because ball speed's never an issue with a guy who has a positive rotation. Zach Johnson still keeps up with a lot of guys who hit it harder. He swings up and around. It's a perfect thing. 3 degrees, 1.5 open, 3 up on it every single time.
Yeah.
Really cool. So it's like, okay, that kind of makes sense how this is where we need to manage golf. And this is where I think spec can help. I think this is where shaft can help. This can be where weight helps. We don't know what it is yet. But we're going to mess around and we're going to find out.
Okay,
that'd be
cool.
good. One more good pipe with that, and I think it'll be a good time to kind of get going here.
All right.
We know the miss, and we know the good ones are probably about that. There we go. A little bit more ball, a little bit faster speed, a little bit more spin, but to kind of get that spin rate, the face has to be that open, and 4,000 is still a little too low, and it's because we're going to battle that as a shallower attack angle person, right? If we're going to be swinging a little bit up and then taking loft off, that ball doesn't have a lot of difference in spin or difference in loft, spin loft anymore, right? So spin is going to be a harder thing for us to achieve in a fitting, right?
Yeah.
So my idea is like, okay, can we get more ball speed to get it higher so it comes down steeper? Is kind of my first fix, and the second fix is like, do I find a shaft that's maybe heavier, stiffer, maybe better loading for us that we swing more down is kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. Those are my kind of 2 options. Ball speed numbers wise, we'll take out a couple of the, well, we'll leave in one of the little left balls. We'll leave in that one. That's about the number. So again, with soul design that we're playing, the left and right misses are around the same carry number. So that's a good thing about the golf clubs, Ken.
Yeah.
The thinner soul with the right loft and the right bounce, right? We're very efficient, 141. That's about what we're looking for a 6-iron as far as efficiency. That's just ball speed versus club speed. It's just a ratio, right? Yep. When we get over to 17.1 and 3,500 spin, like, thank goodness it launches that high because that's not enough spin, even with the Pro V1X. And that's what we're hitting right now. So that ball should spin more, right? So already it's like, okay, how do we get this to go higher, that to go higher? Well, I could gain more here. I can leave that alone probably, but I would love to see another 3 or 5 out of here. Yeah. So this thing goes like 105 feet, and 5-iron feels like it's the easiest thing to hit 205, 200,
Yep.
That's kind of my idea for the day.
That feels pretty good. I didn't even look at what kind of club it is. Feels a little bit lighter than the other one.
Okay, that's good to know.
Is it because it's shorter though, maybe? Or is it shorter?
Let's not talk about it yet. Let's just
okay.
Swings,
Yeah, there's going to be a big reveal. I'll stop to try and trying to cheat the system here and find out.
I'll stop and pause. I'll show you what's going on.
Sway back. Oh. Scully. Feels pretty good.
Good.
I guess overall it just feels a lot lighter.
Definitely.
I like that feeling. I just don't know if it's
Can I see it back for a second, Ken?
Sure.
There's a good ball in there. So that second swing, you swung 5 down.
Did I?
4.9 down.
I don't think I got 4.9 down with my 9-iron. I think the best I got was like 3.2. hit behind it. Feels pretty much similar to the last one. I don't know if it's more or less, but lighter than what I'm using.
Well, I'll tell you this much,
that was a good
going to be
one.
probably something that we're going to fight a little bit here in the first maybe 20 swings right now, because the swing weight of your golf clubs, because they're so long, is also astronomically heavy. So I think for the most part, Ken, everything I'm going to give to you today is going to be lighter than what you're used to, and I think a little bit of that's going to start happening where you don't have to swing it as fast, you get more launch, you get more ball speed out of it.
Probably just need to get a little bit more.
I think it's familiar, that's all. So we're going to hit, I just want to give you a different looking head from that last one. And this has a little bit, if you flip it upside down, you can kind of see how it's got that three-piece sole design to it.
Oh, yeah.
So you got that back trailing edge, you got that middle edge, you got that front edge, right? So if you want to squeeze it and knock it down, it gets more center contact for your attack angles a little bit, right? And that's kind of like, you know, again, like sole design and like T100 or T150.
Yeah.
Just wide. It's got a little bit of bounce, but there's no big shaved front
but
edge.
It's kind of flat.
And then when we have like that tri-sole design, that new design from Mizuno, and now like we get faster ball speed with around the same loft that you're used to. Obviously, CB versus JPX, a little bit more forgiving golf club too as well for ball speed number. Nice.
That one was pretty good, I think.
Might be the best number of the day right there. 44, 39, almost 38.
So when I'm swinging well, I do that where I kind of feel like I pause, but it doesn't look like it when I look at the tape.
That looks like a pause.
I would love to pause like that Pause King kid. Have you seen him on YouTube?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I could watch
Ben
that.
Crumper?
Ben Crumper, yeah.
Crumper.
I could watch that swing just on a loop all day.
Let's try some other things.
Okay.
I like that better than that right now.
I would agree.
I want to try a different shaft just to kind of throw you off your mark. You've been in that for longer and weird, and I definitely changed specification of golf club a lot. And I want to see if another shaft can do better for our kind of baseline testing of heads. Does that make sense?
Clunky. Fin to win.
Would we say that the last shaft felt like it was a little bit more better in feels?
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, I'm not the greatest other than like the weight of it, but I think the other one was probably a little bit better.
I think from where you've been to where we're going to go next, it's like that would help us to get through because of the specification of golf club again. Just from swing weight wise, you're like 3 or 4 swing points heavier in a 6-iron than a sand wedge is for most people that play standard length. So like, no wonder we kind of, first ball out of the gates, ducky left with no spin, or it's a little bit 4 up. It kind of feels like almost like driver, because driver's a little heavy too. So I think this is where like I see in fittings, like sometimes golf clubs teach you how to swing rather than you swing the golf club. And sometimes this happens like this. So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go through some other heads and we're going to see what else might be out there. And no brand loyalty.
I guess that one was kind of consistent though, although I'd like.
It was more on the even attack angle, and it was a little bit lighter. And on paper, I would say maybe is stiffer, but feel versus real is 2 completely different concepts. I'm not going to tell you how you should feel, right?
Gotcha.
But I know what is real, right? And does it really matter in the grand scheme of good golf clubs for us as far as performance goes? No, I hit these the best. People ask me all the time, what do you play? I play what works for me.
I've never hit these. A couple guys I play with have the 790s.
Nice. Okay, cool. Thank you. A little bit more spin on that little thin ball, right? A little toe strike. That guy, a little bit toe strike again, a little bit more spin, but there's that kind of change in swing attack angle, right? So like that's still a little shallow, but then we go back into this. So we're doing good things. Good spin, good launch. Good things there in nature of that nature. Stays there when it goes a little bit left on the miss. That guy was a little bit of the same, a little bit low, miss, left. But it still stays high. It still says high here. And the ball speed doesn't drop off too much as well too. So it's pretty positive, pretty positive. I think the JPX is a little bit more of the winner for me right now, just off of numbers, but we'll see. This will be interesting.
Was that like a JPX like Pro or what?
Forged.
forward.
So it's like 28 degrees, 27.5 degrees.
Okay.
Not 25 or 24. That's where the Hot
Yeah.
Metal Pro is. And
Yeah.
that one's gonna never spin for you. So I'm trying to push that boundary of ball speed before I find a shaft. And it's like one of those natures, like if we can play that ball speed, then we can find a shaft that we get the spin rate and we get that apex and that descendant to the right area, well then we're gonna be living good. We're gonna be picking up a club without thinking about wind characteristics when we go play golf. Does that make sense like that, Ken?
It does. I guess
it's
the
big.
only...
It's big if I change you by 1,000 RPMs, because then you're into the wind shots won't play the same like you're used to for the last 3 years. And so it's like, okay, can I get the same launch with more ball speed and maybe a touch more spin?
Okay.
So we can come down steeper, descent angles, right?
I have noticed, like, when I hit one good, it seems to go out to the right and then not draw back.
So in that case there, club path is 0.6 right, and then face angle is 2.8 right. So it's just face. And we can always know that by like where the ball starts is face angle. And then where the ball curves is going to be the difference of the path. And that's like where that number here, face the path. So you have your club path number, 0.6. You have your face angle number, 2.8. And these are positive, so they're our right number, right? Not left-handed or right-handed, not in the out, but just rights and lefts on TrackMan.
Gotcha.
And then face the path is just a difference of those two. So 2.2, yeah, it's going to go start right, and then it's going to just fade off to the right.
That one felt really good.
So that was struck well.
That one was a little quick, but I think I saved it. Oh, behind it.
This kind of makes sense to me a little bit there, Ken, because if you flip this golf club upside down, you can see that it has that V-sole design in it. And so that's for normally guys who maybe swing a little bit more steep. And I kind of give it to guys who maybe are on the 0 side of it, but now we're swinging more up on it. Now we just start hitting it more left. Like even the one before that, 63 was like 3.5 up. So it's like, okay, if we're going to make that accidental kind of switch, where that's our kind of miss, it's like I know that the thinner sole, when that club gets down to it, will go off the middle of the face more consistently. And now it's like, it goes left, but now it loses a bunch of ball speed. Where the other ones, they don't lose ball speed when you miss it left. It stays there, right? So it's interesting to me. So this is like, so far we have a collection of golf shots, and 3 of them are left and 4 of them are right, and the ones that go far are the ones on the right. So unless we want to aim more left and hit block, it's not really what I'm kind of going for, I think. You know, just like just numbers look good in a studio, right? Ball speed looks good, spin's okay. It's not crazy good, but it's in a manageable spot when you hit it to the right. But as soon as it goes left, it becomes unmanageable. Where the other things we've hit when it goes left, it's very manageable. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna rip this out of your hands. We're not gonna be a Shrixon guy.
We're not gonna be what?
Shrixon. I'm not gonna be that guy.
Okay.
A little steeper attack angles all day.
Okay.
All day. So this is the middle of the range. This is the left side of the range, and this is the right side of the range. So right now, this is your current gamer right there. So we got 1, 2, 3 goods, and then we have that little bit of the oopsies, right? So it looks like the good balls, when we do hit them well, go to the right a little bit. It's interesting. It's interesting. There's a big dispersion chart here, and like you said with the Shrixon, right? You see how it's going up and down and a little to the left. It's like, I really don't like either of those, right? So that's where Shrixon kind of gets X-nayed just in a plot. So over here in the T150, definitely went a little straighter. Definitely different spec. It was kind of the first thing that we hit too, right? From the current spec, but instead of it being a little bit more wishy-washy left and right, it's a little bit more centered, right? And I think that's specification of golf club. That's just going a little shorter, going a little bit, it's a touch more upright than you're used to. That's okay though, because this is where I said at 60 and 1.25 inches long, that plays more upright. So why, if we struggle with left? We should go shorter and flatter some sort of way, or stop the flip with weight, or stop the flip with a shaft profile. That works better for us. It's kind of my first kind of qualm right there. So 150 going over here, a little short, not as fast. JPX, other than the kind of droppy ones, good ball speed numbers. Still kind of what you do good with your current setup, right? And we look at the numbers here in a hot second too, don't worry. And P770, I was actually really impressed. It didn't go super deep like maybe the JPX did, but it was very consistent. It stayed on target longer, and I think that kind of goes back to sole design a little bit. Like thinner soles, we've managed to hit a little bit better. Some soles that have a little bit more camber in the backside, because the JPX and the P770 have cambered out backsides to them. So that club exits the ground quickly. So that ball gets into the right position on the face to get spin, to get ball speed, to manage the miss hit left and right a little bit more consistently, right? So let's look at some ball speed and data numbers here. So Current 17, 4-1, 77, 93, 17, 35. This is a fake number today, total. It's on some driving range on it.
Well, yeah, it's like a percentage probably.
Exactly.
So under these conditions, it's gonna you add like 5 or 8, 10%.
It's the difference between playing a hoopy versus chesting.
Well, the way I look at my irons, to be honest with you, I just want to know the carry number.
Exactly.
You know, if you're playing different courses, some are like Callaway's greens suck; they're really slow. So like I know I need to probably hit it close to
the only number that's important is the carry number as far as a golf club fitting and even golf course management, right? The rollout is like, okay, I got to manage rollout. Okay, is it more spin or is it less club? So carry number, launch 17, spin 3,500, 80 feet and 40 degrees of landing angle. So when we go over to the T150, there's a ball that's kind of throwing us off as far as that miss hit goes, but even then too, when we take out and we go into the good ones, we don't see the same ball speed number. Contact's not as good with current ones versus that. Launch goes up a little bit. The spin is a little bit up. It goes a little higher. It comes down a little steeper, but we've lost about a half a club at least, it looks like, as far as ball speed numbers go. So we're gonna roll that one out so far. JPX, hot metal, 1 miss hit out of all those. A little bit of that last one right there, but we increase by a little bit. The ball speed stays around the same. We get that spin back, and we get that launch back too as well. And now on TrackMan, it says it doesn't roll as much, and it says on TrackMan that it comes down steeper, and now it goes almost 90 feet in the air, right? So as far as iron gapping goes, that makes gapping more consistent. Over here, we shouldn't be playing more than a 6 iron if it comes down at 40 degrees landing angle. Over here, we need to get to 45 to play a 5 iron and 50 to play a 4 iron. So it's every 5 in that landing angle from 40 at 6 iron, 45 to 5 iron, and then 50 for 4 iron. It's like, can I know with certainty that it will go 12 yards farther? And that's how I know, is by landing angle. So whether it's a spin rate or a launch thing or a ball speed thing, as long as it does this, I know that the next one should go there. Now we'll have conversations about what maybe it could be, but we'll figure that out once we get a little deeper into it. So JPX is good. P770. The worst ball, 114, still 74 carry, 18.7 launch, so we get saved, right, from that little bit of the pick, right? So we get that launch back so that carry number stays more consistently, because it's probably a little bit of a left golf ball, is what I'm imagining at that spin rate. So the good thing is like, okay, even with that left ball in there, we're up more in spin, we're a little bit more in launch, we're around the same ball speed, and we're maybe a little less on the carry as an overall, but now when we look at the plots, it's no longer up and down good ones, and then this one, it's now always in the middle and a little left to right, right to left, right?
So it's shrunk the dispersion.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think like with the right shaft, you kick up ball speed a little more consistently with that. And that may be an interesting thing to me. So right now, I like those 2 heads still. I don't like how it's just always right, but I still like the head because it moved fast. It moved fast, and it probably looked pretty good too. I got like 2 other heads I want to hit.
Yeah, okay, great. Cool. Funny you ruled out the Strixon. I felt like I hit that okay, but I would have a hard time buying a set of Strixons, I think. Drop kick.
Better golf swing there, Ken.
That was the first decent swing, I think.
Better golf swing there, Ken. I'll tell you one thing, Ken. When you make good swings with it, there's some pretty good numbers happening. It's a little bit, it's a little hot and cold, comparatively speaking to some other things, I think, a little bit, which is interesting to me. All right, cool. So we got kind of first places up there, no man's land down there. I'd say it's third place. Third place out of everything we've hit so far.
Oh, didn't get back down. I do like, I'm assuming you got all these to a shorter length than what's in my club. The length feels so much better.
It's an interesting thing too, because I know this head is on the heavier swing weight side. So this probably feels a little bit more like what you're used to as far as at the bottom, how it weighs, right? The bat, right? Is it more, swing weight is going to be like the equilibrium of the golf club, right? So it's like, is it more down towards the head or is it more towards the handle? Is it more of a lighter swing weight or is it a heavier swing weight, right? So this head, as far as swing weight goes, is heavier than a lot of other things in the golf cart. So like, okay, let's give him a shorter length. Let's give him a little bit of what he feels is a little bit heavier and he feels like he can square it up. And when we did square it up, it became very consistent. So it's pretty interesting to me. And I think we saw some of our higher spin rates of the day, which was interesting. Like a little bit of a thin miss, sure, but 4,900 and 100 feet in the air, 48 degrees of landing angle. Nice, that's awesome. And then we get over here, 91 feet, a little bit lower on the spin, just with that little bit of attack angle, right? But still great ball speed number off of it. So it's like it negates all that kind of woes of the golf, right? With a consistency of strike, right? So it's a pretty interesting concept. I think we can put that on the list too as well.
Okay.
And I think 770 is good, but I think if we want to play better scores and be more consistent on the golf course, I think if we don't notice the top line in the aesthetic, that'd be a nice thing to kind of gain on the golf course. But you could always veto me on that because I like 1, 2, and 3 right now.
Okay.
But I think shaft's gonna be a fun time in a second. But we're gonna hit this a couple more times.
Hit that solid, but I think I pulled it. Hey, draw back online.
Middle.
Middle. That felt good too, but I think it's left a little. Oh, did I?
No, just every now and again, just so there's a little error code, but that's the actual shot right there.
Oh, wow.
That was nice.
Oh, God. That felt really good.
Just getting a little far back in that box there, Ken. If you just want to scooch us a little bit forward.
Gotcha.
Nice. Ken, I really like this. And I think also, too, like an important thing to talk about is like budget. Like Tide Fusion, that blackhead from Callaway.
Is it more like a mirror head?
Yeah, it's like $300. It is $300. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. It is
exactly
$300. This is $200.
Gotcha.
So it's like, I think for comparable performances,
Yeah.
I kind of like us getting into something completely new. Maybe you've had a set of Mizunos.
I've had 2 or 3 through the years.
Yeah, I think that might be a good play for us. I like this play for us. How's it feel?
It feels really good.
Looks
good. I mean, all of them looked fine.
Same head, same shaft. I changed the specification of the golf club. Just want to see what happens. Throw a little curveball in there, see what happens.
I think I know what you did, but I'll let you be the revealer.
I think you know. I think he knows.
That was a thinner. Oh, that was a bad swing. There we go. That's the right swing.
It's probably starting to feel like you can get the faces square a little bit easier. And I think that's a little bit of the battle of the guy who's a picker, and it's like it swings a little inside. It's like, well, where's the face going to be? Is it going to be 20 left or is it going to be 5 right? All right, Ken.
That was thin.
I think we're a little bit in between just from where we've been in the pings, and then you are now in the mirrors, and it's like, okay, I think we're just a little bit betweener, and that's okay. I like at least a half an inch. Yeah. I don't like anything more than that, and that's okay.
Perfectly
Maybe it's a quarter of an inch. I want to start messing with some shafts.
It could be normal. I don't know. I'm at your mercy here. Like,
I gave you standard length that time, and that 183 ball was great. The consistency was a little bit touch
felt
and
like
go.
it was a little too short.
Yeah, I agree.
But I
agree. It looked a little too short back here. There's some numbers that
I
facilitated.
felt like I needed to grip it with my
half off the grip.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And I think guys who pick it normally have really good tempo. And so I kind of went to that a little bit lighter weight, so maybe the tempo could come back a little bit.
Yeah, I try. Like, that's...
Yeah, that was a nice, that was rhythmic. That looked a little Benjamin right there.
That felt good.
That was awesome.
That was really good.
And that's okay, we play draw still, but now it just starts on target line. It doesn't go as far left anymore. We remove more weight.
So that one felt iffy, and I think it still went pretty good. That's it. Wonder if I'm overcompensating with making sure it's not shut.
I want you to feel like you aim it a little more left and you're trying to hit it to the right. How's that sound, Ken?
Perfect. I was thinking the same thing.
Good turn, good pivot, good sequence, let it go.
Felt that went like that because I kind of overturned a little.
Mm-hmm. Kind of hard to beat here, Ken.
Yeah, this feels like a really good setup.
This is tremendous. Let me see that back. I grabbed some of my lighter steel before, that nip-on shaft that we hit, kind of compared to the Accurate I series there. And we didn't hit it very well. So my idea is like, okay, I want you to keep golf clubs for more than 2 years. I want you to keep them for 7 years. I want you to keep your speed up, and I want you to work on your downwards so you can get a little bit faster swing speed. And my idea is like, okay, with the modern technology in graphite, I think is a positive for us.
Okay.
And that's why I'm kind of grabbing some graphite options here. Because I want you to feel like when you swing, it just goes faster naturally and not at a 38.
Not like I'm having to work to get there.
Exactly.
Perfect.
But it still needs to be stable.
Hey,
I think that was a pretty good prospect right there.
I'm all about making it easier and more efficient. I get so jealous of the guys that can like hold their finish. I just always recoil. That was murdered. Oh, only 118. Thought I hit that real solid. I don't know if I'm getting sloppier or...
You're aiming more left with the body and the face isn't really going that way. So if you're gonna aim left, you gotta start it left. Does that make sense like that?
Gotcha. That was pretty good.
It's kind of crazy to me too, though. You want to find out if you should be a hooker or a drawer or a straight ball hitter? Just take your right hand. Let me get that golf club out of your hands. Go straight down, good posture, chest back. Take your thumb and make a thumbs up here. And then just go ahead and from your elbow, just bend that thing up towards your shoulder. Yeah, so you see how you're kind of like underneath the top of the shoulder? Almost kind of into almost your armpit. So when Ricky does his test, his like is underneath his nipple. And when Bubba does this through his trail arm, it's up in his earlobe. So like Bubba hits cut, Ricky hits hook. Their natural tendency is that you should be probably a little drawer because it's a little underneath the shoulder plane, right? Maybe a little bit of the blocks. That's kind of your natural swing. So that makes sense to me that the ball, or when I tell you, hey, aim more left, shut the face down and hit cut, the path never comes from the outside. And it's like your dimensions of your golf or your arms, your levers, say that it can't. Because Bubba at this can do this all day. He can take that thing and reach on out and pull hook it or pull cut it all day long, right? And then Richard has to lay it off and still hit cut. And why?
Is that why his swing is so flat? Ricky's?
It's biomechanics, so I did a little bit. I used to teach for a little bit.
Okay.
And
I've never heard of that. I mean, not that I've heard of everything, but...
Mike Adams, a swing doctor.
I've heard of him.
I apprenticed after him for a while.
Okay.
He teaches biomechanics that you are not Adam Scott, I'm not Adam Scott, so how can I swing like Adam Scott? And that's not about like, willingness. It's just like my appendage length isn't the same. My gears, my levers aren't the same. How I pivot isn't the same, maybe, right? And so he teaches the theology around that. And it's like, okay, like, when I do this, I'm the same way. I'm kind of like there, and I try and hit cut, and the only thing I can really cut is a driver on a tee. Everything else, though, I hit, kind of a block, or I hit a little 5-yard, 8-yard draw, and that's kind of my shot. That's because my natural appendages and my levers want me to do that, right? So I think we should feel a little bit more of that draw, just and trust that face to be straight when we point it down the target line here. So don't feel like we mimic that face, and maybe have a little bit of a, maybe a little touch of shaft lean in our pre-setup before we pull that trigger. And we just keep turning away from the ball, turn through the golf ball, and see what happens.
That was a thinner.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Playable. A little short.
Conditionable. I like the OTI better than that. This one?
Yeah, I think that shaft.
And then I even didn't mind the first one that we started with too as well.
I feel like this was the one I hit before that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of the winner for me too.
I agree. You're playing TC or CB?
I think it's a CB.
Yeah, CB. 302.
It's so bad, I don't even know the model number immediately off the top of my head.
Well, guess what, today? We'll have an exact spec of what it is, you know? You'll know, wait, how long do you play? 37.75 long, you know? I play at 61 degrees of lie angle, right? It's at 28 degrees of loft, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
Current head, this is still a standard spec, so it might be a little slower in ball speed, maybe a little bit more in launch, a little bit more in spin.
Oh, because it's
not
as
2
strong.
degrees strong.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
That's a little wonky.
Three feet 5 inches right. It's almost a kick in.
Not if I don't have that lab. Oh, that's a bad swing. Not too bad dispersion wise, but too short. That's a little bit better. I don't think I hit my clubs as good as I think.
Ken, you just don't know what you don't know, you know what I mean? Good swing
That
there.
was a good swing.
Good swing there.
Oh, wow. I thought that one was like the last one.
As a picker, we don't want to go too flat with the lie angle because then we're going to get that club stuck in the ground. So it's a very delicate balance off of like, okay, what's mat versus turf, right? And swing plane numbers say 65 over in that right-hand corner here. 65, 64.8, and then the handle goes to about 59.9. So technically we should be a little bit more upright on that one swing, right?
Yeah.
But players involved, pickers involved. He's not a steeper guy, so I don't need more upright, but I definitely know if I go flatter, it's gonna either go more right or more left.
Gotcha.
And that's where I said when we walked in, I'm like swing weight, length, and lie, and then loft, interesting, all together, you know? I mean, one or two maybe, could be good, like the loft thing. I like the loft thing. The loft wasn't bad, right? We still spun it, we still hit it high enough, but then the length, like, well, why does it feel like a 2x4? Well, it's because it is a 2x4, you know? It is a 2x4. My shoulder's falling out picking it up. You know, I know a lot of people who play, you know, taller and swing faster don't play swing weights that heavy.
Really?
And unfortunately, that's kind of what every manufacturer, if you tell them, hey, I want an inch long, and guess what? They're not swing weighting them. They don't care.
Well,
they don't tell you, hey, you should go get a bigger grip and a heavier grip to counterbalance all the weight on the back end of it. And like when we get down to it, when we're talking about the specification of golf club, like I'm going to ask you what grip we're going to play. And there would be grips that maybe I'm going to tell you no. Like we can't. Like it's not going to work, or you got to try this one instead.
The important thing is to learn the lesson, right?
Truth. Truth. That was nice. I mean, that wasn't a very well struck golf ball, but that still gets a lot of carry and keeps up in the air for a long time when we maybe don't hit it as perfect.
Wow, what happened there?
You just got a little scoopy.
Scoop.
This next swing there, Ken, I just want you to feel like you put your butt down when you come through it, right? So we go here, get a nice turn, we go ahead and rotate. I want you to get here. And
Down?
keep that butt backwards.
Okay.
Because right now you just give it a little bit of the dance move. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that should be the feeling.
Okay.
Sitting down in that seat. There we go. Path and face get a little bit straighter. Contact comes back a little bit. Nice.
That was better. Oh, wow. That's pretty straight face.
You know, I think guys, you know, early extend, right, who get, you know,
Yeah, I'm definitely, I thought I wasn't, but I had a lesson a while ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm still
it's either we're going this way or we're going this way and helping it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, okay, what does it feel like if we stay back, squat, and pivot more into that front side? That's going to help us swing more down. That's all. I love it.
That is so much straighter.
Give me one moment here. Put John Daly's test to the theory here.
John Daly's there?
Yeah. So that's a half degree upright instead of a degree and a half flat.
Oh, okay.
Same head, same spec.
Why is it the John Daly theory?
Because John Daly thinks that the hit cut, you need to bend every golf club 3 degrees flat. But meanwhile, it's like, well, if I'm 6'7" and I hit it if I hit it out to in with a shut face, it's at 66 or 58. What's the difference of lie angle? Now, the tendency of a golf club, when it's more upright, it wants to rotate quicker. If you take a golf club, you put it straight up and down. Can I have this? Yeah. You take a golf club and it goes straight up and down, right? The axis of the shaft, when you spin it around and the face rotates, it rotates quickly, left and right. Now, if we get a little flatter, it rotates, sure, left and right, but it goes up and down too as well. So this is kind of the theology of 1988 a little bit. It's like, okay, if you want to hit fade, just get that thing there, learn how to keep that handle more left, and then let the face stay open. Is their kind of mentality if you're a big hooker, right? Kind of negating it, like a Band-Aid versus
like
stitch.
Holding it off,
yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah, John Daly is proposing like Band-Aids, where like that's a stitch. Like if you want to hit cut, you need to swing the club from the outside to the end with a little bit less of a shut face. That's a cut, right?
Yep.
And that's where it's like, okay, if I'm 6'4" and you need 57 degrees of lie angle, like I don't know. I haven't done that one yet. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. You know, and there's different theology to the golf, which is interesting because if you're Hank Haney, he wants you kind of more up the lifeline of the grip, right? He wants you like up here.
And you go nobody teaches that anymore.
And then Andrew Rice wants it down here. He wants it in your bum of your fingers. He wants it like almost
I thought
there.
everybody wanted it in the fingers.
Everyone's got different theology. You know, you got Bryson who's like this. He goes like,
oh yeah, he holds it kind of.
It's like that. Now he's playing 64 degrees of lie angle plus his one length set, so it plays a little bit statically, dynamically different than variable length golf clubs, right? But that's kind of his mentality. He's like, okay, from here to here, all I do is just go upwards and then I rotate toe, golfing machine, right? So it's interesting. There's different concepts to it.
Yeah.
That was good contact.
That was good contact, for sure.
There's some height. 100 feet in the air. Let's go.
Wow.
4,500 spin. Nice. 19.6 launch. Nice.
Gonna hold the green, huh?
Definitely, no matter where you're playing. Let's get like 4 more with that guy.
Okay.
And then I think we'll be cooking. I think we'll be done with irons, my man.
All right, sounds
I like this.
good.
Like this combo. We're just trying to figure out maybe the last specification of it. Lie angle.
Didn't squat.
And now these are 2 degrees apart from each other, Ken. So I think it might be someplace in the middle. The first one we were hitting was 60.5. This is 62.5. So
and
it's like, okay.
lie angle being the angle of the shaft.
Yeah, how the golf club goes in the ground or touches the ground like this, floor, right? And then you have hosel. So we went from 60.5 to 62.5. And there's still a little bit of a heel shot in there, and that's where I'm like, okay, maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit less.
Okay.
We'll see like 4 more.
That felt pretty good.
And Ken, like I see this often with guys who maybe play the wrong specification of golf club and they kind of swing the club and not use swing.
Yeah.
And this is where I think a little bit of that's kicking out because now we're attack staying more 0. And now we're still taking off a lot of loft. We're still getting more ball speed. And now we're still getting, even with the ball that goes left, that's 300 RPMs higher than every ball that went 45 feet left today. It's because now that club isn't going so quickly with that right. Now you feel like you can get more here and then we can just hold on to the loft for more because that thing isn't going to stuck in the ground anymore.
Gotcha. Oh, that was so good.
Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That was money.
So we're going to go, I'm going to go like 62, just a smidge because there's a little bit of that kind of getting in front of it and kind of working on the downward attack. And I think once you work that out, maybe we go a little bit more upright. But I think the biggest change is that we've lost an inch. Weight-wise, we're actually right around the same.
Okay.
Different shaft though, obviously, right? Higher torque shaft, OTI, smoother profile. Kind of feels like accurate where it feels like maybe a little bit firm here, but it feels like this and this feel like want to help you swing it, just feel wise, right?
Yeah.
And then swing weight, well, this is going to be funny. So we go over here. This is our swing weight machine, right?
Yeah.
So it tells us that balance point of a golf club. And people are like, hey, swing weight fixes everything, or this fixes, like, you don't know until you try, right? Until you mess with somebody over 112 swings. We're at C7 swing weight, C8 swing weight.
And D2 or something.
D2 is about standard when you see a spec sheet. And do they actually hit that? That's a question mark right there because they don't swing weight match anything, right? As far as manufacturer builds, unless you're on the tour van. And here's your current 6-iron. D9.
Oh my God.
So now on like in a scale thing, right? And like actual weight, that's a 10 to 12 gram difference at the bottom. Now you pick up 10 to 12 grams like this, no big deal.
Yeah, but it matters on the. Like,
you swing at 90 miles an hour, trying to swing at 90 miles an hour, that's a big deal.
And trying to keep the face.
So this is 4 swing points heavier than like a stock Vokey wedge at standard length. So a wedge that we're trying to hit 80, 90, 60, 40, trying to be controlled with spin. We're trying to hit this 200 yards and hopefully hoping for the best and hoping that we're not swinging or we're swinging the club and this club's not swinging us, right? So I think a big change is definitely swing weight. Now that club can get into that better position. Now we can stay more on top of it. We can play a little bit more upright and hit it a lot more straight now that we don't have to worry about this thing getting so rolly from the inside with the length and the swing weight and everything like that.
This is the reason I built the app is literally like when I shoot a bad round, I start playing back in my head. I'm like, well, shit, dude, you were 200 out on 14 and you tried to hit your 3 hybrid directly at the pin instead of aiming left of the flag and in that little area that if I hit it good, it'll still get on the green. If I miss it, it's just going to be over there, and I can get up and down like 7 out of 10 times or something, right?
This will
It's an
improve
easy
all
chip.
that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Appreciate it.
All right, ready to do driver?
Yeah.
Awesome. So for driver, gamers up there, I gave you the 7 tee. Those are birdie tees.
Okay.
That's the second highest one I have. Does it need to be a little bit higher?
It needs to be lower.
Lower? Okay, so the one next to the bag, nearest to the bag, is the 6. That should be the next step down. I would give that a try and see how that one looks.
Well, I say lower because of the lesson. Like he said, I was hitting up too much. So
Sure. That should
you
be
know what he did? He said, put a tee and put it all the way down. You know, put the flush with your knuckles.
Yeah.
And so it basically looked like I was hitting a driver off the deck, which I haven't tried since high school. Once they got to like 400 cc's, I was like, there's just no, like, how do you hit it off the deck? People do it though.
They do.
Oh, that's horrible. There's a better ball speed.
Good one there. A little bit higher in the face, maybe? Just a
I
smidge closer to the middle.
I tried the higher tee.
Okay. Well, it's a little bit of the
normal.
impact location that's kind of bugabooing us right now, Ken, that low spot in the face. And at 6 degrees up attack angle, you're going to be kind of pressing into this position on the face, right? That low point is so far behind the ball over here, right? It's like, well, then that thing's going through like this. It's like, no wonder, like, when I go this way, it's like, okay, like, ball speed's great, but the launch is a little too low at that spin rate for it to stay straighter. Does that make sense like that?
Yep.
And then, of course, then you have some club path and face angle things that kind of go in there too, but I think it's because of the inside and out, right?
Yep.
It's this move, right? And the instructor's trying to tell you, hey, I want you to take that low point, right, from here, and I want you to go there. And so these next 2 swings, I want you to feel like the low point of the swing. Don't feel like you change your swing. I want you to feel like when you do that low point, it just gets really close to the golf ball. And what we're going to see is that impact location probably go higher in the face, and then it goes up and launch, and then it goes 255 carry more consistently. Does that make sense like that?
I think so. I'm going to feel like I'm hitting there, or
So you're 6 degrees up, and the ball's in front of the foot. So I think a great position would be to move that
more
ball.
on the heel.
There we go. Beautiful. And I want you to make that same swing. I just want you to feel like that low point is just a little bit closer to the bottom of the ball.
Oh, the bottom, okay.
Yeah, or how about this? Get the tee. Hit the tee out.
Try and hit the tee?
Hit the tee with the with the bottom of the face, or the top of the face, excuse me. I love that. That looks great.
Couldn't tell.
It goes a little higher in the face, and then we just drop the spin rate because that's where the ball goes to, or the spin rate goes to, and the ball impact position goes higher on the face on a driver.
Okay.
And this is where loft and shaft need to change. This is both, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work, and I got that in my hands right now.
Is this the 3, or is this something else?
This is something different.
Okay. Perfect. God, it feels so much lighter.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That looked more better.
That felt a lot better. Oh, that was a bad one. I thought I was gonna pipe me up to get like the 150.
Let me see that back, please. Cool. Good start. Let's see. We're going to try maybe something that you asked for, just to see what it kind of compares to. GT3, 10 degree. There we go.
Oh, that was me trying to cut it. The push. Oh, that was late.
Impact location is no longer low on the face, so that's another positive there of dropping that weight, Ken, I think, and moving that ball back a smidge in your stance. Is like that impact location, when it gets higher in the face, the spin rate, that window, becomes less now. So you're not hitting like some of those bottom ones you hit well when they spin a little bit more with the lower launch.
Yeah.
Or then you have the one that doesn't spin enough and it snipes off the face of the earth. It was like now the launch and spin are always in the right window. Now it's just like let it go as hard as you want to. Now that the impact location's up, the spin should never be the issue anymore. It's like, it's never going to be the issue anymore. And I think a little bit of that's set up, and I think a little bit of that's also to shaft, weight, and spec, and differences in that nature. You're gonna have to hear that one later, Jen, my bad. No headphones on, right?
I don't know what I'm doing on my release, but
All good.
all right, though.
I see you back.
Yeah.
Which one looked better to you? Like squareness, face angle?
Actually, I think the Elite, or is that Elite?
Yeah,
The Callaway.
triple diamond. Yep.
It's weird. It just felt more stable or solid. Like the metal felt. I don't know.
That's their
dense.
That's their AI face. So they were like one of the first ones to start like buy a supercomputer and do impact technology, like impact data, right? And to get the gear effect to change, right? And they got kind of made fun of when they did that. They're like, "What are you doing?" You know? And now everyone else has done it. Now everyone else has gone to carbon. Everyone else has done the carbon faces and things of that nature, right? So I find that interesting to me as like as a fitter, that they were the first one to kind of do it, and now I think that they're the best ones as far as when you miss it low and heel on the face, so you get good spins and good rotation of face, like squareness of face, right? Where GT is a little bit more traditional, where it's going to be, if it's open, it's open. And we can hit shot shapes, that's great. But a little bit more precision is required, I think, with that sort of mentality. Both triple diamond, both GT, like smaller heads, right?
Yeah.
More player head, right? But just different theology, how they get it done, or different methodology, probably. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I hit that as square, but it didn't feel bad.
Nice.
That felt nice.
That was murdered. Middle contact, we like that. Good spot on the face too.
Almost 100, old man.
I got a trick on my sleeve here in a second, Ken. We're gonna get you over 100.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
I like it. Oh, that wasn't hit good. Pretty straight though. God, this thing is pretty damn straight. Oh, I thought that was faster.
All right, cool.
I feel like I'm swinging as hard as I can.
Feel-wise, looks-wise, Elite's still the best?
I like I think so. I mean, I kind of like the look of that. The Elite felt very square, which I like a square look on the driver. That felt pretty good. Oh, I thought that would be faster.
How's it look?
It looks good, feels good.
There we go.
That was good.
There we go.
That's the fastest.
Just to talk yourself into it a little bit. Great driver. Like you figured it out. I mean, I think I was pleasantly surprised, and it did a good thing down here. But it's like, okay, the ball speed goes fast and all that, but now at 10 and 25, there's nowhere for that ball to go. Right? It's going to go left and low.
Okay.
And we're trying to negate a little bit of that from that, right? Then we have maybe a little bit of a block, but even when this ball goes left, it still spins around the same amount, so you can still get that ball to get around the corner and stay more on target line. That's at 45 versus 54, right? So 10 feet. If golf is inches, that makes sense to me. Also, too, Cobra has a connector that you can move the lie angle and the loft independently. So you want to dial it in as far as how much lie or how much loft you want on it. You want to change the face angle a little bit. You have 33 different positions to go to. That's a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot. But I think some people are selling this a little short this year. It's like, because you can do a lot of things with it as far as dialing it in and getting it to be that kind of steady eddy. And ball speed wise, it's just as fast as an LS head. And you can make it a little faster. We'll take out a little slow ball speed here, right? It's like we can make it just as fast by maybe moving that weight a little bit.
Yeah.
And also too, now when we get out of those heavier LS and open faces, we're away from the heel now. Now we're center face, maybe a smidge in the heel here and there. GT3, kind of toey, a little bit of the knuckleballs. It's okay. Elite, other than that one that we kind of iced you on there, does a really good job when it does go there. that ball was not very well struck with ball speed or the right spin and launch. And we look over, I'm like, oh, it's 54 feet. This guy's 16 feet, right? And that guy, yeah, definitely a little bit more of the block. That was the first time I gave you that loft in that shaft. So that kind of makes sense to me a little bit. So like right now, I'm kind of in the camp of these two.
Yep.
I like LS too as well. I just think it's going to be on your bad day a little harder to get it straighter. You're going to definitely not hook it as much, but it's going to feel like a little bit harder to kind of get out there and do it. And this is going to be a little bit harder to manage. And this is where it's like, okay, as long as the face isn't too big or the angle doesn't look too weird, or let's play as most forgiving as we can so that happens all the time. It's kind of my idea.
Yeah,
my idea.
That makes sense.
We're going to throw in a little something.
All right.
Something that you want to definitely pull at the golf store.
Oh God, I love the sound of that. Sounded like it should be doing something when it hits.
That was a cannon.
Huh?
That was a cannon, like right out of the
Yeah,
gate.
it
Like
just sounded
149 smash, good spin, good launch. Yeah, a little right, but path was a little bit too far from the inside, maybe a smidge, right?
Yep.
And we'll do that test here at the end like we did with like the irons. Like, okay, to feel like we can swing it more up and feel like we swing a little bit more, zero through the ball, right? And see where that loft kind of gets us to. I think you'd be very surprised.
Letting us get a swing. Oh, that's horrible. Not giving you a fair chance, Shrexon, with that swing. No idea if it went.
That was a better golf swing there.
It felt good at impact. I just had no idea if it was going to go right or left. I just feel like I should be able to release more out there, and
It's funny though, Ken, because like that's a little bit of that attack angle and dynamic loft and inside number that, the teacher you're working with wants you to get out of, right?
Yep.
And now that we have some different spec, that's the same swing. 6.5 up, 6.8 up, 7 degrees from the inside, 2.8 open, but now the launch stays high enough so you still get 240 and it still stays 1 foot on target line instead of, the lefts. The lefts, that's interesting. But here's driver right now, your current one, just low and left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 block, right?
Yeah.
And then over here, here's what we just hit. Even if the ball goes right, it still goes around the same distance than 1, 2, 3 deep. There's DS adapt, still a little low and left, but it goes farther, right? Still there, right? There's LS, you see how LS starts diving left, but it has the farthest right ball, and again, just a harder face for closure road, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna wanna not go left.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's supposed to do. GT3, just right. And then triple diamond, kind of a little bit of both, right? We have two good balls here, but then we have that kind of snappy one. But Shrexon so far, the left ball goes the farthest.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
now, I cheated, I didn't tell you something. There's a
Okay.
2-weight system in this thing. There's a 10 gram and a 3 gram on the toe and the heel. I took the heavy weight, I put it out on the 10 side to slow down that face rotation. So we're talking about moving them forward and backwards, forward and backwards, and then left and right.
Yeah.
And does it fade it? No, it just stops the face from rotating a little
It
bit.
just goes straighter.
So like I'm gonna grab a ping here in the next one.
Okay.
And we're gonna try a little bit of that.
All right.
And that'll be the head testing. We'll be done.
All right.
And then we're gonna grab like one other shaft, and I think we'll be surprised. It'll be fun.
Okay. But I don't care if it works, it works. It just seemed a little whippy.
So you said that you don't feel anything.
Well,
No, I'm trying to tell you. This head weight is 10 grams heavier than every other head weight that's currently on the market. So if you have a shaft that's trimmed at X amount of stiffness, and the 3-digit number on that sticker, right, that's how stiff it is CPM butt stiffness wise. So it's like, okay, well, what happens if I make the lever heavier at the bottom? It's gonna make it a little bit softer. Remember we kind of talked about the irons?
Yeah.
Remember I asked about the wedges? Yeah, so it just makes sense to me. It's not a senior shaft, it's stiff. It's just a little softer because the head weight of this actual demo.
So
is
the
like,
whippiness isn't the shaft, it's because of the weight.
Don't get me wrong, the shaft whips because it's a shaft, right?
Yeah.
But since it's a trim for X spec, and this one's a little bit heavier than other things from where we just were, you feel it move a little bit now, right?
Okay.
So it's interesting to kind of just like, you do have some feels, and it's actually kind of cool. Don't sell yourself short.
I gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
It froze up. God, I'm surprised that was 140. That was my push fade swing.
The other head that's a little bit heavier and a little bit flatter also goes this way. the LS head from TaylorMade.
Goes right.
Right blocks, low left, and every now and again you might hit one really good down the middle of it. Just an observation.
Gotcha.
Just an observation.
All right.
One more.
Right tempo. Come on. Give the ping a fair shot. Wow, I thought that would draw a little.
3 degrees, 4.8 open. Yeah. Unfortunately.
You have this. I'm not even paying attention.
No, it's all good. I don't like that. Hold on a second. I like a couple different heads up here. I like the triple diamond. I think aesthetically that's something that you like looking at just from where you've been.
Is that the Elite?
Okay. The Elite triple diamond, excuse me. But I also do like the Strixon. I do like the Cobra 2 as well. ZXI 13 and 2400. So spin on those are ideal. Like that's where we want to be as far as spin and launch goes. When we go into DS Adapt 25 and 13.7. So it's kind of moving up a little bit more, right? And we look at carry number, it's a little bit more. It's actually a little bit faster, so I might actually maybe take that back. It maybe looks like maybe Cobra might be having a second coming here. Callaway Elite TD, first head we went to, 21.13. So that spin rate at that launch is a little bit dicey.
Okay.
Right? But it's cool though, because it's plus minus 3.
What does that mean?
Spin back and forth. 21.72, 21.76, 21.60. Very consistent. Very consistent. So that's kind of an interesting feat for me, but it doesn't go as fast. I really do think, to be honest with you, I think when we look at the dispersions, that'll be the other half of this here. Strixon, Cobra, and Elite, never seeing left really, right? A little bit of a bonker miss, but at least it's not going left. I kind of prefer that miss for a guy who struggles with the left ball. The right ball, the middle ball, and the little left ball all go the same distance. That's interesting. And then you have DS Adapt here, and that's with the heavyweight back. So we're trying to remove that CG from the front of the face and get the ball to launch a little bit higher, right?
Is that the Cobra?
That's the Cobra, yeah, exactly. So we still have that low left popping up, and then we still have like a really great ball down the middle of it, right?
Yep.
It's maybe a little bit tighter left to right versus the Strixon, but Elite Triple Diamond, yeah, you see how it starts getting those more vertical lines going left? Yep. And for a guy who hooks it, I wouldn't mind him hitting it farther left when it happens. That's what I was kind of getting to. I'm like, even though numbers-wise it might be a better option here, I think dispersion-wise, it's like I want you to feel like you free it up and let it go and never have to worry about the left ball anymore. And that's kind of where I think Strixon with that little bit of fade weight we can go to, and not at the heavier swing weights that Ping kind of puts us into unless we play a counterbalance shaft. Yeah. And like a lot of his stuff says Alta CB on it. So no wonder the heads are kind of heavy because they play counterbalance shafts as stock shafts, right? Yep. So that's kind of interesting kind of concept you see in here too in the card. It's like, okay, you now understand why certain combinations go as stock for certain heads because of specifications of clubs sometimes.
Gotcha.
I think this is a great play for us.
Okay.
I think that's a great play for us. I don't want you to hit this shaft. This is not where I want to go.
Oh, that was going to be your next trick up your sleeve.
This one is. This one is.
I'm going to make a proclamation. I'm not going to try and fit myself anymore. I'm going to come see you.
I just did a fitting for myself. I basically updated my whole entire bag this year.
Oh, really?
Something I haven't done in a very long time. Like I went new shafts and everything almost. Like trying new things.
Yeah.
2025, trying new things. And trying to do it yourself is pretty tough.
Oh, hit behind it. God, that felt more solid than the other one.
Yeah. Can I see this back for a second?
Oh, yeah.
Impact location's getting very, very middle. Face is just not getting left, and I think that's a little bit of the weight.
Okay.
And unfortunately, in this head, you can only go one way or the other.
Gotcha.
So I think this is where head's like, okay, shaft's getting more appropriate. We're getting tons of launch now. We're getting tons of ball speed even when the face is open, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, how do we get it more centered? Well, we have two heads that we hit a little bit more centered, but got a little low and left. Okay. So we're just kind of pushing that umbrella a little bit more now, right?
Got it.
And bragnostic is the nice way. You can like, okay, like no, I hit this head good. I like how it looks, and it goes far and it goes fast, right? Yep. Since the Cobra launched higher than the Strixon, I'm not going to go there. That's where I'm like, okay, like I'd have to play a lower loft, and from where you've been, I don't want you getting stuck in the left side of the golf course anymore. From here, I want you to just come in and you just hit the right edge of fairways all day long for you. That's all I got to.
This head just feels
More stable.
more stable, solid. Ah, came off of that. Oh, that was a bad swing. Better ball speed.
I wouldn't say that much. Like if I like one better or not, like right now.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's like, this one doesn't get squared up as much or often. This is definitely a little different feeling as far as handle goes versus red, where it bends, the torque rating. There's a lot of things that are changing between the two of them, right? So this next one, I just want you to feel like you keep the face a little bit more square, and then this time we're gonna be swinging into that left side. I want you to feel like you're hitting a high draw still, okay?
High draw,
Yeah,
okay.
you look like you're just fighting two swing thoughts at the same time right now.
Gotcha.
And if it goes right, that's okay, because this is a triple diamond head, and it's more open, it's a little flatter, it's harder to rotate back to square. This is kind of where that Strixon head comes in. This is where that Cobra head comes in. And this is where I'm going back to the Cobra.
Okay.
I had to work backwards a little bit, remember? Said, hey,
Yeah.
right now I think I like Ventus better. I changed some weights in the Cobra to kind of help that spin rate.
Okay.
And maybe the feeling of the can versus the non-can. Tin can, tinky, clinky.
That sounded pretty sweet.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, nice. That's the kind of shot we want.
There we go. A little in front of it.
Yeah, a little miss hit.
Little miss hit. Little miss hit. There's that spin drop. Now I put that weight, that heavy weight forward. And typically when you move that heavy weight forward, you either see lower spin, higher spin, different launch, higher, lower launch, right? So interesting so far. In a good way, in a bad way. Taking left out. Little toe ball. It's fast, it spins low, it launches good, it goes straight. And even that, like that feeling just gets you more center of the face so you don't kind of dive it in the heel or get more in front of it.
I mean, that felt really good.
I'm even tempted to take a little loft off of this, Ken.
Okay.
It's going a little too high. We're gonna go neutral lower and a little bit flatter.
I kind of felt that I was open when I got to the ball.
I would agree.
That's better than I thought it was going to be. I swung too hard at that.
Can't sound the middle.
Oh, God. Turned out all right. I didn't even feel solid. That's got to be over 100. Come on. Ah.
Can I see us back for a second?
Yeah.
Ball speed's maxed out. We're over.
160 by August.
We're cruising at 100 instead of 95 when you walked in with your Newton.
Yeah.
So we were able to figure out a combination that feels like it's stable enough. We can swing it faster and let it go. I'm just going to give you less loft now.
Okay.
Because now, like, the launch is no longer an issue. The spin's no longer an issue. Now it's just going a little right versus then. That makes sense if I open the
Holy
face.
shit. That's pretty good to get almost 250 with 2,900 spin for me. That felt pretty damn solid. Tried to channel my inner Milo lines.
That's a good miss right there.
Wow, that is pretty straight.
And I think the big thing, Ken, is shaft. And obviously spec too. Like, it's not D4 any swing weight anymore. It's not 46 inches long anymore. It's not. It's a lower torque shaft with lower weight too, which is kind of a hard concept to kind of grasp a little bit. That's how the new BB series is. Most of the BB and whiteboard as well too. And the new Diamante series is like it has a low torque rating. So it feels very consistent and tight, but it doesn't weigh a lot like what we're used to keep stability there. And I think a little bit of this thing is just, it feels like you're trying to hit it. As like you said, like I think when you swing out your shoes, it's great. But I think you got to work a lot harder to get that thing to move, where this is like boom, boom, a little bit of miss, still in the middle of the fairway.
All these have been, when we tried, was probably easier than what I'm got there.
Can I see us back for one moment? We're gonna try one other setting, and then we're gonna be cooked. We're gonna be done.
I am about gas.
I figured you are.
That was better tempo.
Oh, the straightest ball we've hit all day. Golly. Just to the right.
Yep. It's my Mason nut special. It went straight. Just trying to sling it.
So I think this would be a good time, kind of like what we talked about in the full bag fitting, right? Or in the iron fitting, excuse me.
Yeah.
Let's aim that a little bit more left, and let's feel like we're trying to hit it straighter and stand it up and hit maybe a little bit more of that peeler. Because right now I do like standard setting. I like you back in 9 degrees.
Okay.
That we have the right shaft and head, and I've realized now that that weight going forward for you, you can feel that loft and not take off too much loft and get that face too far left now. So that's a nice thing, that we can still get all that potential for fast ball speed, and we can get all that potential for lower spin at the right launch window, that we don't have to worry about that ball kind of dropping, right? So that's a good thing for us. So I'm pretty close to finalized here.
All right, sounds good. Ah.
Just get quick.
Yeah, I felt like I jumped at the last second.
So one more time, just finish. I think it's a harder thing, Ken, as a guy who hooks it.
Yep.
Is that typically if we hook it or draw it, we have a little bit more of like that kind of upper and longer body rotation, and we kind of stall and flip hands, right? So what's cut? Well, cut's club more in front of us, like the bad ones, right?
Yeah.
And it gets more this way. And so when you say cut, you don't turn all the way. I still want you to turn off the ball.
But not as deep.
No, I want you to still turn deep, right? But the first move then is stay more on top of it.
Stay.
So you can get that path to go more left. Does that make sense like that instead?
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Or even too, like there's some theology about like kind of casting it, kind of middle way.
Like the.
Yeah, kind of like the Jordan Spieth kind of, swing practice, where
he does
he doesn't do it necessarily with his hands. He does it with his shoulder tilt. Right? He tilts his shoulder to get the club back in front of him. He doesn't swing it across, because that will go all over the place, right? Does that make sense like that a little bit? Yeah, the tilt of the here we go. Getting goofy, yeah. This is the type of stuff I want to see on the driving range from you, Ken. Getting really goofy with the feels.
So I'll go 180% George Gankus?
Yeah, or the opposite, whichever one works. Well, the good news is you're already super shallow. You don't need more shallow. This is why I'm kind of telling you, hey, let's go a little more Jordan Spieth and
Oh, so you want me to be more
turn
like...
away deep, and then I want that left shoulder to just feel like it's kind of pitching downward and left. There we go. Gorgeous.
Right.
And just swing when you do the swing. Don't think about it. Just do it. Oh, does the ball go straight?
I don't know. I hit like 10 feet behind the ball.
0.4 path, 0.4, so we're almost on the right side.
Let me try one more time.
Look at the impact location too, Ken. Middle of the face, high and middle of the face. So a little bit of that rolling too, right? It's like that's where that heel shot kind of gets stuck a little bit. Is that thing, when that right hand starts trying to supinate, it goes into the heel or low, where we want to feel like it's just hanging on for the ride. There we go.
That was about a quarter of what I was trying to do before.
Cool, awesome. So the good news is we're not going to play this setting. This is upright. The toe ball miss. There's a little bit of just us working through the swing a little bit. This is upright, so this is supposed to help us without changing the loft, get the club face to get more square. And it went the opposite way, even though the ball's in the toe. So this is where I'd much rather take the gear effect of it coming back on target line than it staying at 125 feet off to the right, even though we're getting a little bit tired here, right? A little bit tired here. So big kind of slammer there at 174. What was happening there? So that's in the standard position, right? So 40, 70, 12, and 23. That's in the 9 degree, it's standard. We go down in the 10.5 by 1 degree. It's just a touch spinny. It's just a touch spinny.
Okay.
But this is where I think the Cobra adapter, like we can play the right setting to get that impact location a little bit up the face with taking the loft off.
Okay.
Does that make sense like that?
Yeah.
So whenever I go down in a setting by 1 degree, it makes it more upright, which is interesting because it just goes more toe, and then it never just gets kind of back on target line, which is interesting to me. But let's find out here. Let's go there, let's go there, let's go there. Most consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of different, but then we have 1, 2, 3 coming back a little bit more centered. That's interesting. So the 9 degrees still has that little bit of that drape. That's where I get a little bit hesitant with going that low and loft, because that number, not everywhere is going to be perfect. A little bit like that. If I take out that, it looks a lot better that way, right? So a little bit cheating the numbers there. So this is where I think a better play for us is going to 10.5 head, where it always carries 35, 40 all the time, and it always rolls out, and we just get that loft and that lie angle together so you don't catch the extra spin. Does that make sense like that?
Makes perfect
I don't want
sense.
you to run out of space like you've kind of run out of space with your current one.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah,
Without going right a bunch. So that should be good for us, man.
All right.
And swing weight wise, you're in D5 and
D5.
46 inches. And yours, we are in D0
Okay.
at 45.5 to the butt cap. So we shaved a little bit off. We dropped some swing weight.
It felt shorter.
Yeah, we dropped some shaft weight. We made a shaft that's still as stable, but still has a lower kick point so we can get that launch still up. And a little bit of loft change, and a little bit of lie change to make sure that that thing sits appropriately to your eye, right? You're facing. I think that's a little bit of it too, as well too. And that should be a fun thing for us on the golf course and learning through. Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. Beautiful. That's all I got for us today.
Okay.
All right.
Hey guys, I want to say thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like, subscribe. Comments are great. Feedback is what we're looking for. We're just getting started here. So if we know what you want, we will try to deliver that. I just want to say thank you to Sean.
My pleasure.
I found him I mean, I've had like maybe 3 to 5 fittings before. By far the most knowledgeable guy I've ever met. More than what I've seen on YouTube, and I've watched probably 15 to 20 different YouTubes on people getting fit. So hats off. I'll let you give the details of what we did. I think we found a new set of irons and a new driver. So I'll let him explain what he did exactly, because it was great. Yeah, sure. So Ken's a seasoned picker of the golf ball. Some specifications of golf clubs were a little bit interesting, and we got him into a new spec that feels like he can stay on top of the golf ball a little bit longer, pick it off the ground still like he normally does very well, but hit it a lot straighter and taller. With that being said, the combination-wise, we did switch up to graphite. We did go to around the same loft, but we definitely changed up that center of gravity. Gave him a little bit of a more versatile sole that he can use from a steeper or a little bit more of a shallower position. And with that being said, we picked up about 3 or 4, 2 miles an hour in ball speed, picked up a little bit of height with a little bit of launch, and we definitely picked up about, I'd say, a solid 10 in 6 iron, which is really great for us as far as an iron pickup from a guy who hits the ball right to left, where he's very efficient with ball speed. We want to make sure it goes higher all the time, keep in that window and make sure it's coming down steep enough. And then in driver, definitely have a good driver when it's good, but definitely a little bit harder to kind of slot it and get it going. Yeah, I think it had been performing well for like a couple of years, and then like the last 6 months I've been questioning it, and I tried a different shaft, and we figured out it wasn't a great shaft for me. No. I mean, everything he did was truly like amazing. He probably is factoring like 15 to 20 different variables. Also found out that the custom clubs I got made for me 2 years are not even the specs that I thought they were. They're what, 1.5 inches long?
Inch and a quarter long, and
I thought they were an inch long, and then the swing weight was off the charts.
Swing weight with a 6 iron, and we got to C8 in a 6 iron today. So interesting 10-gram change there, 12-gram change there, and even then too, like even in driver, right? Going from that kind of like more player shaped with a shaft that's maybe a little heavier, maybe has a little bit of a different bend point to it. Yeah. We went up in loft. We went to a lighter shaft that's just as stable in torque. And
it's a little bit shorter than the other one, right? And it goes like 10 yards longer. So it might be the first time I pick up a new driver and it really goes 10 yards longer than
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can get out to a true spec, that we're here in Buckhead in Atlanta, I highly recommend you finding Sean, man. Like I told him a little while ago, I will not be fitting myself anymore. I'll be driving my ass from Sandy Springs down to Buckhead to see him before I make any more equipment changes. Man. I really appreciate it, man.
Pleasure, man.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming by.